What's up and welcome to the first kind of funny reaction to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by Greg Miller.
Hello.
Andy Cortez.
Good morning.
Kevin Coelho.
Hey.
Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
And
Jesus Christ.
joining us for the Falcon and Winter Soldier reactions, Paris Lilly. How you doing, Paris?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a blast.
Sounded like a car that was passing quickly.
You can get the show on youtube.com/kindafunny or roosterteeth.com. You can listen to it as a podcast by searching for Kinda Funny Screencast on your podcast service of choice. But let's just get right into it. Greg Miller, I want to know what you thought about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 1.
So in.
New World Order.
In. I love how much it's different than WandaVision, of course, but it was that going in it, I was like, obviously, love the Falcon stuff, but then when we got the juxtaposition of Bucky on the therapist couch and just the way it was framed and the way he was, talking to his teeth to her, then the reveal of, what I love it. I love it. I had such a great time with this show.
Paris, what about you?
Oh, same. I loved it. I love that it opened with his conversation with old Cap and the fact that he still doesn't feel that he deserves the shield. And it instantly cuts to MCU action scene with Falcon literally proving that he should have the shield and be Captain America. So I thought it was great. It's really great setup. Stuff they did with Bucky as well. I think we're going to be in for one hell of a series.
Hell yeah. Nick?
I just absolutely agree. I mean, it's amazing to me that WandaVision was something they came out of the gate with WandaVision, not this, because I think a lot of people that was more risk. This to me is just classic MCU, and I'm blown away by how just right off the bat I'm in. Right off the bat, you have this phenomenal action sequence. They dig up George St. Pierre from wherever he was.
Let's link it all together.
Bring him back in, dude. And I'm like, fuck yes, more George St. Pierre. And they get in squirrel suits and they start flying in and out of helicopters. I'm 100% in. And then of course the ending of it, dude. Come on, don't even get me started on that. When he knocks on the guy's door and the guy opens up and it's a picture of his son. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is what MCU is so good at.
Yeah, Kev.
I mean, I loved it. Like all the things you're saying. It's funny. I watch these shows with my little brother, and before it started, he was like, "I wonder, like, how the finances work for like Blip stuff.
Superheroes?
Like, can people
Yeah.
Well, like, what happened when people lost?
You're
their
entitled
homes?
to a.
Do they come back and is their loan still there or what's up? And I was like, yeah, that's a really interesting question. And then we started watching it, and they kind of touched on some of that stuff.
He's like, you don't have any job history for 5 years.
5 years.
Kind of gone.
Yeah, and it's so cool that first of all, man, they nailed Banks, didn't they? Those piece of shit Banks.
I hate them.
Yeah, best casting ever.
But second of all, it's cool how granular we can get in these worlds right now, and how we can kind of see even the minute day-to-day stuff, and it's this is so cool. I really love that we have these shows. And then here's fucking awesome action. The flying squirrel suits looked so cool. And then it ends and it's just what? New Cap? You mother,
Andy, what do you think?
I loved it. I'm glad to be back in this universe. I thought the ending kind of came out of nowhere, unless they had hinted to it prior. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. So I was kind of like, oh, where did this come from? Did I miss a detail about the possibilities of a new Cap? And I feel like that was just a good way to get you to want to get to the next episode. But it's just great to be back with these characters. I just like Greg mentioned earlier, I love Bucky inside the therapist room and sort of a lot of the shots framed like Mr. Robot conversations. It's great seeing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mr. Robot. That's the one, Greg. It's just great seeing this side of these characters that we don't often get to see. Because they are always dealing with a much bigger threat. I don't know who this Torres guy is, but I think he's great. I'm down to see him kind of be the guy in the chair for Anthony Mackie. I was worried about a show led by Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. I was kind of worried about how that would look. Do they got the stuff to carry a show? We've seen them be second to Iron Man. We've seen them be second to Chris Evans. We've seen them play the supporting role. Can they be the lead? And I'm super in, and I cannot wait to see where this goes and what it leads into. The hint of the whatever this rebellion group is, we got to assume they're with Zemo, and at least I think, and then one of these dudes is just super strong, obviously has some sort of super soldier syndrome in him. I'm really down. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Are we gonna start speculating already? Because
I don't know.
Yeah, we will.
We'll
Yeah,
get there. Tim, what
That's
do you
exciting stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Loved it just as much as you guys did. When Phase 3 ended with Endgame and Far From Home, it very much was like, how can they keep this going? What could Phase 4 look like to keep this up? And this was 100% the right answer. And, obviously things kind of came out in an order that they weren't planned for, but ironically, I think that really worked to the benefit of these shows. It makes me worry for Black Widow. I think that movie has even harder uphill battle to win people over, because I think it's just going to potentially come off as like, that was fine, because these are so good, and it being so grounded, allowing us to be with these characters that we've known for so long. And what I like about it in comparison to WandaVision is WandaVision was big on the mystery, big on the what's going on, but it was very small. They were in the hex, and we got little things about the world outside, but it was usually literally right outside the hex. Whereas here, we're going all over the place. This is the MCU world. This is the Earth after the blip and them dealing with it. The 6 months later, I think, is a perfect timeline too, to really have it be a long enough time that the initial grief and panic is over, and it's more now like dealing with the ramifications of it all. And I love that in this episode, Falcon and Winter Soldier don't talk. They're not together at all. And it's like, cool, let's have a slower build with this. We have 6 episodes. Let's, look at this as pieces that can then come together. In the same way we talk about Avengers movies or Snyder Cut or whatever, it's like, we want to see these heroes kind of have their moments before they come together. And I think that they're going to be doing that with this. And I love too the just themes and ideas and their brashness when it comes to dealing with the race stuff, dealing with the politics of it all. Like, they're just kind of pushing it out there, and they're like, no, we're straight up doing this. The Flag Smashers, they're message board extremists. Like, it feels very now. And I love that when it comes to the 2 title characters, like, we have Bucky kind of being haunted by his past, when we have Falcon kind of chasing his past, trying to get back with his family and like figure this stuff out. And the family stuff and the boat and all that, did not expect that going into the show, and I love it. I think it's such a great way to build out these characters and the world, obviously, in ways we've never seen before.
Can we talk about Bucky for a second, making amends with all the people that are like
amazing,
like the Hydra people? He's like, she's like, did you do number 3? He's like, of course I did number 3. He's like, hello, my name is Bucky Barnes, and
I'm no longer the Winter Soldier. I'm Bucky Barnes. I'm here to make amends.
I thought the sitcom stuff ended with WandaVision, but we got some My Name Is Earl here. With him going back trying to right his wrongs.
Oh man, but obviously, like, they made that one really, really smart choice coming out of Endgame, right? Which was, he has that great line where he's like, you know what to do, right? When you snap, you just bring people back. We're not going back in the past 5 years and wiping the slate clean. I think that was really, really smart, because that gives them such a complex world to play in.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think we're going to see a lot of, obviously, is like their reaction to all of those events. It's so cool. Everyone's broken. Everyone has to put the pieces of their lives back together. Wanda did it in one way. She dealt with that grief one way. We're seeing Sebastian Stan deal with and Anthony Mackie both basically dealing with the loss of their friend and the loss of the world they knew. And it's such a great little like place for them to develop these characters and push them forward.
I want to jump back to Anthony Mackie and something Andy had kind of brought up. Could Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan carry a movie? I think it's very important that Anthony Mackie, because this is his story. This is going to be the story of Falcon becoming Captain America. It's clear as day. That's how they opened it, right? And I think, like you mentioned, you brought up, there are straight on going into political and the racial issues that this is going to cause. Because let's keep it real. Seeing John Walker at the end become Captain America, it was already clear that the government did not want Falcon to be Captain America. So they were more than willing to take the shield, and they had already been preparing for John Walker to take up the mantle, right? I think it was so important that they showed Rhodey and Falcon have that conversation that they did. And it's literally Rhodey being us saying, why didn't you keep it? Why didn't you keep the shield? And Falcon's not understanding yet its importance, because is the world ready? Let's be honest. Is the world ready for a black man to be Captain America? I think that's what the series is going to tell us, and I'm excited about it. That's what really got me going in that early moments of the show, saying, wow, they're going to ask these questions that me being a black man, I want them to ask, and they're going to go there. So that has me really excited.
Yeah, it was Tim Wright who said, it feels now. Like, this feels like it's, and I think that is obviously on purpose, clearly by the design, but it's like going to be doing that question in their world and in our world and driving that home. And that was the thing, right? Of like, I found myself, right? Even as just, stupid white dude, when he turned over the shield, I'm like, no, like, don't trust this object to other people, right? And sure as shit, the government gets involved and is going to fuck them over. And like, I think I was in the same boat too when they announced this, of like, oh yeah, Anthony Mack, Sebastian Stan, okay, I like them, but whatever. It's interesting to see if they'll be able to carry the project. And then doing this MCU rewatch, right, of like falling in love again in timeline order with Anthony Mackie, right? And then getting here of like, he fucking had me from the jump. And when he's there working on Redbird, right, or his pack, and the family comes over and speaks to him, and he speaks back in the native language. I was just like, oh, the charisma this guy has, let alone then the charisma that Bucky has as Bucky. Like, this fucking show, dude, like, I was like, oh man, I love these characters, and it's actually awesome to let them breathe here on their own and not be second fiddle to Cap, not be second fiddle to whoever's in the Avengers.
And not just be there for an action sequence, right?
Yeah.
Like, to actually be there for good character development that I hope keeps that, hopefully it keeps on growing, because I do want to see what these characters are like when their lives aren't on the line. I love seeing this side of them. I think it's super interesting.
Well, I mean,
Nick, you about to say something?
I was just gonna say, let's talk about the fact that they got Don Cheadle to come back and be in this.
Insane.
Which is amazing.
We did, like, that wasn't
freaking
confirmed.
Insane. Had no idea. I was like, and it's so crazy because he pops up in that scene where Anthony Mackie's giving the shield away, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Don Cheadle's here, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. This is a TV show. Like, how did they get all these people back? And then they have those amazing scenes. They have that amazing scene where they're walking through like the Smithsonian, and they're looking through all the history, and it's shot so beautifully. And you think, like, how lucky are we that we get these two phenomenal actors and a team of people that just let them act. Like, you got Don Cheadle and Anthony, let them fucking act. You got great dialogue. They're diving into this incredibly complex concept with all this subtext, and we're just letting it breathe on screen. And I'm like, for a second, I blipped out for a second, no pun intended. I was like, what am I watching? Okay, no, this is a TV show. There's more of this. There's 6 more hours. And then obviously, just the sort of mark of any good piece of content, it ended, and I was like, no. And then I knew it was the only episode. I scrolled down. I was like, is there a second one I could watch? And I was like, it's not here. Damn it. It's so good.
No, I love it. I love how much they add to the world in, like, the Flag Smasher stuff. I think is going to get really, really interesting. And also the Torres character, I surprisingly liked. When he first showed up, I was like, this is interesting, given some like dude on the ground while Falcon's up there. But like, then he obviously comes back and is doing more things in the episode. And I liked him a lot. And I think that the dynamic he has with Falcon is really interesting. And I want to see how he's going to interact with Sebastian Stan at some point. But with Bucky,
the fanboyism, I think, is what I'm excited
is really
about.
it's dope, right?
We see that one moment of him asking about Cap, and then you immediately see Anthony Mackie's look like, here comes the fan.
And it's the man on the moon
is the Cap thing. Yeah, like it being kind of like nebulous
God.
of what's going on with Cap. I love that, because it's like, don't tell us too soon. I want to know.
Is he on the moon? Do you think he's on the moon?
I don't think he's on the moon, but hey, weirder things have happened.
I gotta do moon stuff. Like,
he's hiding in plain sight at the AARP meeting.
Yeah, totally. That's the thing, right? The world doesn't know that he's old. He probably is just very much in plain sight. Sorry, Paris.
No. I wanted to go back to that Smithsonian scene again that we were just talking about, because I think that's another part of it that was so great, because it was literally the aura of Steve Rogers is just there the entire time, because there's even the one poster of Captain America literally pointing at Falcon going, I want you. So it's like they're just driving that message home. But then even to flip it over to Bucky, how traumatic was that? That we've known that, because he said it in Civil War, that he remembers everything, right? So then here's his nightmares playing out, that you're seeing someone that he assassinated, and it just haunts him. And then obviously everything with the list. So I think these dual storylines that they're going to have with these two characters, and obviously they're going to crash together and converge. It's exciting, man. I mean,
that was a great reveal. That reveal of the father being his, that the son, the dude that he murdered is the son of this old man that just sort of lives across of him or whatever. And I don't know if he moved in because of that, or when. I don't know when he found out that fact.
I think he sought him out, right? I think
you look at how bare his room was, right? Like, and also a great callback to the bed being too soft, right? But he's sleeping on the ground, but then there's also like nothing on the walls, nothing anywhere. I think he just came in to befriend that dude and make amends.
Also, at first I was like, oh, maybe this guy's like legitimately an old friend, because he was like, none of us live past 90. He's like, I know. And they're talking like they were in the war together or whatever back in the day. But yeah, that reveal is just so well done. That moment hit for me. A lot of moments hit for me. Another one that I wanted to bring up, though, was just the moment where he was talking about, he was like, every memory I've had, I haven't stopped fighting in 90 years. They only woke me up to go fight. So everything I've known, really all of these memories that I have for like the last 90 years is fighting. The only peace I've had was in Wakanda, which is a fucking awesome callback. And then she goes, but now you're free. And he goes, to do what? Like, what am I supposed to do with this life? Like, I've got, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, seeing Bucky play Battleship is just like, it's so great. Like, I love that that's what we're going to get from these, because it allows so much development. It allows, us to really get to know a Bucky that we haven't really seen since First Avenger. And can that Bucky still exist? Like the guy that actually has swag and actually has like, a little bit of flirt in him. It's like to see him go on a date. I was like, this is awesome, because it's been 100 years.
And shout out to Sebastian Stan too for nailing that awkwardness, but also still this is what I love about the writing staff and the writing team with these things. Like, that scene was great, right? You have this, it's very good. It's not beat you over the head. He's just trying to figure it out. He's at one moment, she's like, what's wrong with your hands? He's like, I have poor circulation. It's like Sebastian Stan killing this character and really, really just enjoying sort of the nuance and the complexity of it. As the same with Anthony Mackie, right? Where we're getting those complex characters that aren't the AAA guys, and they're leaning into that, where they're like, what are you gonna do now that Captain's gone? It's
right,
so
you're getting the character development. And I think even so with Bucky, it was such a sad moment to hear him say the only time he's had peace was a brief moment in Wakanda. Yeah. Other than that, his life has just been chaos, for 90 years, which is it's great. It's great to see that, like you said, they're taking these Disney Plus shows and they're using it for the quote unquote B-level characters, bringing them up and allowing them to get the character development that they deserve. Because I think this is the most, honestly, this has to be the most both Bucky and Falcon have talked in the entire MCU, just in this one episode. Because they don't get the lines.
Yeah,
totally. I would love for Anthony Mackie for at the end of the episode to see the new Captain America and be like, give me the serum. I'm done. Like, give me the serum. I'm going to go fight. Let's get super strong. I do want to call out that immediately, this show starts off and you're kind of just hooked into the action already. And I love the sequence of inside of the plane, Anthony Mackie's beating up all these dudes, and the fight choreography is like really entertaining and awesome to see. And then there's a dude that is like on the ground, and Anthony Mackie uses his jetpack to go towards him and knock him into the. I was like, so cool. I'm sitting down watching. I'm like, oh, all right, but like this is
dude.
Awesome.
When
like,
Anthony Mackie flew in and they turn around, he's like, what's up? What's up? And he starts fighting in the helicopter, and then when he flew around the other and just yanked the dude out and flew away, he just tethered him and dropped him.
But that fight scene is actually another important point about him becoming Captain America, because this goes all the way back to the first Avengers when Steve Rogers and Tony Stark get in an argument, and Stark tells him, you're nothing more than like experiment of petri dish or whatever he said. But the point of Captain America is it's not the super soldier serum that makes you Captain America. So I think even him fighting Batroc in that scenario and all those other people, he's not Steve Rogers. You knew Steve Rogers was going to beat him in the Winter Soldier. You don't know what's going to happen with Falcon because he's just a dude.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
He's got gadgets.
Yeah. GSP, when he fought Captain America, right? Remember, I thought you were more than just a shield, and he dropped it. And he was like, well, let's find out. And it was like that thing of he took Captain America to the limit. And so when Falcon went in there, I was like, how are they going to do this balancing act, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys know I'm a sucker for music and score and stuff, and hearing the Winter Soldier theme come in when we get Winter Soldier busted through the thing, I was like, this is so awesome. And also, I didn't expect to see Winter Soldier, even in flashbacks, like seeing him with the arm and the long hair and stuff. And I'm like, that happens, what, like, it feels like 10 minutes into the episode, and I'm just like, this is about to be a fucking incredible series. Because, Nick was talking about, Don Cheadle's just here, and it's just like, we just can expect that level from this show, at least. Like, they're setting the tone for what this is going to mean, and I'm so in for it.
All I'm saying is Falcon and War Machine. I would watch the shit out of that movie.
Oh yeah,
Armor Wars is coming up. We know there's a show called Armor Wars, and we know that War Machine's in it. So
also, Nick, Winter Soldier, the wig looking pretty good.
Hey man,
would you agree?
Wigs, I didn't notice any wigs last night.
Wow.
Maybe it's because I was enjoying it so much that I turned off that little part of my brain, if you know what I mean. And maybe it's because I finished the last 2 hours of Justice League before this, and freaking Ben Affleck's wig looked like it was hanging from the fucking ceiling.
Kev, you said you want to talk about some theories?
I mean, just spitballing stuff. Like, is there any chance that guy we saw that was part of the face, what is it called? With the
Flag
Smashers, that's it. Could he be
Frank Grillo?
Walters? The new captain?
Potentially, I don't think so though. So there's the girl that was handing out the masks.
Right. Which from the trailers seems like she's more involved.
Yeah, I imagine she's like the main one. She was like the girl from Solo at the end of Solo, if anyone remembers that.
The VR episode of Black Mirror, the dude in that episode is the new Cap.
Wyatt Russell, right? Or no?
Wyatt Russell,
Yeah, John Walker, U.S. agent.
Yeah, U.S. agent.
And
that's gonna be awesome too, because he's a great actor. So he's gonna play a great heel.
He's gonna be an asshole. You could tell he's a dick.
He's got that cockiness of Kurt Russell in him.
Shows the video to Anthony Mackie or Sam. Sam does something. Torres like, "Do you think?" And he's like, "Nah, don't worry about it." Is it just? Do you think this is like an Avengers level threat, or was there a moment of recognition in any of that? Because it looked like they were looking at the guy's eyes. I didn't read that clue.
I'm kind of confused there as well, Greg, because you see Torres be like, what are you seeing? And he's like, never mind, I gotta go or whatever. And then we get the news of the new Cap. But I was wondering what we think that Sam is thinking that is.
I'm just thinking he has the super soldier serum. That's what I took from that. That scene, that he's like, they're doing it again, you know?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Flag Smasher people?
Right.
Yeah.
I imagine that. I do imagine that, Andy, what you're talking about is right. Of like that the plot of this is going to be the Flag Smasher people are taking the serum, or Zemo's giving the serum out to people, and then there is that debate of, does Falcon need the serum to be Captain America by the end of it? But
to fight back,
that's going to be such. I mean, do you think they're going to broach that? They're going to have to broach that, right? In this.
Oh yeah.
Well, and Thunderbolt Ross has to be in this, right? He has to be. On some level, I almost would imagine Thunderbolt Ross is probably behind the John Walker
stuff. Yeah. And that's interesting. And with that, Nick, to your point about John Walker being a dick, like, I actually think that there's a 50-50 shot that he's a good dude, and it's the government stuff that are making him bad, and like he's going to get along with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I can see it. Like, awesome, they're setting it up for us to hate him, but like I can see them trying to like
just a pawn, right? He's trying to.
Hey guys, I don't want to be here either. I don't.
Yeah. But I don't know. Well,
I worked at a desk job. I'm totally.
Guys, they promised me I could go to college if I just do this for a couple of years.
That would be obviously an interesting space to write from a writer's perspective as well, right? It's like you've got this other character that, of course, like saw this opportunity, took it up, wanted to do good by it, but now is like, I don't belong here. I'm being used as a tool by this government, and I don't like that either. So I mean, I would be down for either way, but all I know is if Wyatt Russell brings a little bit of that Russell swagger into this, I mean, I'm watching the rest of the series.
And
only if that happens, though. You're not watching the rest. Nick will walk if there's no swagger.
No, obviously. But I mean, the casting of this just across the board is great. And I forget the actress's name, but I know we're going to see her more. But shout out to the actress that plays the therapist in this, because she's great and everything.
Yeah, she was good.
I know she's going to come in and be like the couples therapy person for them later down the road. It's going to be great.
I also like the payoff that she's like former military as well, right? Where she's like, you're a shitty therapist. I was an excellent soldier, and I've seen a lot of bodies, and I know how hard it is to leave that behind.
Yeah, which makes sense, and I like that too, because she's like, I'm a therapist, but obviously I'd have to have like ridiculous clearance to be, treating a patient who is the Winter Soldier, because this person's like a top secret, like, agent. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So even though she's a therapist, she's also she's in the organization. She's like, she knows what's up. So that's pretty cool too, which means she can probably be on a, in the middle of the Shield or Sword or whatever. I don't know, whatever organization is running them now. She can be embedded in that.
Well, that was one, too, like one of the things. It's interesting how just being a fan of this has instilled in me the don't trust anyone thing, where like when you're there, usually when I see a therapist in a movie talking to somebody who doesn't want to give up information, like just give up the information, yada, yada, yada. But for Bucky, it is so much, right? Of just like, how can he trust anybody, right? When he was captured, the person they told him to talk to was a bad person. Like he's been manipulated his entire life. Like, of course, this guy is going to be a lockbox of secrets and not be willing to talk to people, let alone someone on a date.
Yeah. In addition to the political stuff that I think is really being handled well, I loved how diverse the cast was. Like, I love seeing there was Asian people, there's Latino people, there's obviously like more Black people than like we've ever seen on one screen on the MCU, and I just think that it's really cool because it reminds me a lot of the Marvel.
Real quick,
comics.
there was a movie called Black Panther that had, I think, probably more Black people in the frame, just to save you the internet comments, internet comment.
Yeah, it's good to see people that are not part of Black Panther in Wakanda being, you know what I mean, in America. It's nice to see that.
No. I
think it's really cool that when you look at Marvel Comics, I was telling you guys recently, I read the history of Marvel Comics thing where it like goes through era by era, and it's cool that we're finally in the movies in the MCU in the era of the all new, all different. That like started around 2015 from Marvel, where it's like the Miles Morales and the Miss Marvel and like these characters that are really trying to push it so it isn't just all white people with the same type of stories. And I think that they did a really good job with that, and including Torres being Mexican and eventually in the comic spoilers becoming Falcon. And I think that that's a cool setup.
Spoilers.
It's comic books, but.
Maybe they'll do it here. Who knows? I mean,
that's my thing.
He becomes Captain America.
I love it.
You can't. I guess technically speaking, you could be Captain America and still have the dope Falcon wings, but we'd have to call him Eagle Wings.
Well, that's what he did when he was Captain America, right? Didn't he still have the wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he wouldn't be Falcon. They just get another guy with wings. You know what I mean? Just wings. So he'd have wings and the shield. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, well, I just love that. I mean, I love those side stories too, right? Because I've always like my sort of approach to when I really vibe with good storytelling and comic book stuff is when the actual B stories are fascinating enough to stand on their own, and the chemistry that Anthony Mackie has with his sister and with his nephews, and that whole storyline. To me, I'm like, this could just be a show. I would watch this family dynamic, them trying to figure it out, put their lives back together after this blip. I would just watch this. If you add on top of that all of the superhero antics and all the cool stuff and all the gadgets and all the action sequences, that's just to me icing on the cake. And I think they really spent a lot of time making these characters feel real, making them feel three-dimensional, making them feel like they have, even in the casting, that they've known each other their whole lives because they're brother and sister. And it just speaks volumes to how they're approaching this stuff.
Exactly. We will return next week with episode 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier reactions. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Until next time. Love you guys.